Hello, this is CaptoftheDorks, and I'm here today to explain how Save Crystal Save Organizer works. This is currently version 0.5. It is downloadable on savecrystal.org, and you'll need a recent version of Java. And from there, you can either reboot your computer and open it up after you have Java, if you're still getting a message that says you'll need to install Java. Else, there's also a remapping file that you just run in the command line, command prompt, or PowerShell if you like. That's for Windows users. For Linux and Mac support, you'll have to do something similar. We're not going to go over that, however, in this video. Once you get there, you'll have this pop up once you run the program, Save Crystal, and you'll have this lovely window. From there, we'll need to edit profiles and then select a save location. For Final Fantasies 1 through 6 PR, it's going to be in your user file. Normally it's on your C drive. For me, I mapped it to my U drive. And from there, you're going to go to your documents. You're going to go to My Games. And then you'll pick the game you want. So for example here, since we're opening up Final Fantasy 2, we're going to pick Final Fantasy 2, Steam, or Steam ID. And then we get to this part here. So depending on, for the Pixel Masters, we can both pull the autosaves or the quick saves. The quick saves themselves are going to be located in this RI18OS file. For the autosaves, we're going to be looking at the 7N. Autosaves are pulled in every room, while quick saves you can just quick save via the menu. So depending on what you want, you can pick either one of these. For this instance, we're going to pick the autosave. We're going to open that up. It says, do you wish to use the directory of the save file to store the profiles for this game? You can choose an alternate directory if you wish. So this is essentially where it's going to choose to save this directory of when it pulls all these autosave files. If you want to put it somewhere else, you can. Otherwise, you can keep it in there, so we'll just keep it in there by default. So here's that. We can also create a profile depending on if there's different routes you want to take and whatnot. You can create different profiles to help you kind of just organize it a little more. Essentially, it's just a file structure at the end of the day. So we're going to use, for 2, we usually normally use down's route. So I'll just make one called down, and then we'll go from there. So at the top, we have a sort feature. You can sort by alphabet, created, and read-only. Currently, the read-only function does not work. From there, you can search. And for Final Fantasy 2, we'll take, for example, and we're essentially going to take the save state that's currently on the game, and we'll save it, for example, here. And it's going to name it that file. But say, for example, at the beginning of the game, we can do like start. If we pull another one, we can create another one. We can create a folder. So let's call this one Route 1. And then from there, we can just simply put this file in this folder, simply by dragging it so you can see it underneath that folder. We can create another file called Route 2 if we want. We can rename it Route 2. That's by alphabetical order. It's going to first use the folders if we have folders, and then the saves themselves. What I like to do for that is I usually add a number in front of them. If you have more than 10, you'll need to use more digits and put zeros in front of them. But with alphabetical order, you'll have to probably put numbers in front, unless you just have names and you're okay with that, or you just have a few. Doesn't matter from there. So from there, I want to also, say, for example, save another save state. We'll rename this 03. And we'll call this one Lamia, for example. And we can simply see that this one's by itself and not in a folder. We can then easily move it to a folder. We can move it to this one if we want, wherever we want. So it really, it's very important that you name the files. That way you know where they are. And then say, for example, we want to load it. We'll simply click load. And in the game itself, you'll have to go back to the title screen and continue. And it should be set there for, in this instance, it will be set for our quick save, or sorry, our auto save state. The other one, we can save it over the quick save state. So there's both of those. There's advantages to either one. If you're pulling really quickly, you can use the auto saves, else you'll have to quick save. Quick save will allow you to save on the floors themselves and not at the start of every room. We can overwrite files if we want to as well. It's going to have this lovely yes or no if we want to overwrite, just as a safety precaution. And this lovely prompt here that we've done that. We can load some more save states. So say we're going to load the start again. Easiest pie, go in the game, just load your autosave again. 1 through 6 essentially happens the same way there. Chrono Trigger is a little bit different in the way that it works. Chrono Trigger has both an autosave and essentially a quick save button that you'll need to go out of the game to do. But we can see here that's also saved under My Documents. For Final Fantasy IX in particular, the CSR, we'll have to go into the game file itself. Currently mine's on the S drive, but essentially you just find the Steam library that has your game, stream settings, and your data here. So the name of the file for CSR is p0data7.bin. So you'll need to have that one as well. You'll need to have the CSR that Bodcat at the moment is creating. Make sure you save a regular version of the file before you pop in the CSR to replace it, because we'll need to take a regular one if you want to pop back in and do a regular run other than CSR. So if you want to do a regular no major skips route or something like that. So we can see here, if we're just looking at that here, we can go to our CSR. So we have our two files. My profile is called CSR files. I have the CSR in the proper file, and I can just load in either one. For the CSR, you do need to close the game and reopen it to load in, or else it will crash the game. And so just save the proper one, pop the CSR in there, and then do the same. You can rename it from there. If you accidentally put the CSR in without a proper file, all you really can do is just check the validity and the integrity of the game file itself. It should fix it, or uninstall, reinstall is also another valid option you can do. And then on for the Final Fantasy IX saves. I've saved a whole bunch myself, and this will also be on the site. Different places for autosaves. Grotto, Giza with high trance rate. We have a few card splits. We have 2 at the moment, and we'll have more in the future to give some variety on what cards you have. Other places like that. So high trance Death Guys, high trance Necron. All that jazz we have here. We have some post and pre-eclipse stuff. We have high trance Black Waltz 2, high trance Black Waltz 3, and more, and we'll have more in the future. So it's the same thing. It's save and load and whatnot. What this is doing, however, is for 9. What 9 does is it takes a whole encrypted data file, which is actually just basically compressed. It holds your saves and your autosave at the same time. So if you do have saves that you want to keep, make sure you save a copy of that first before you load in other ones, or else you might lose that. So if you pull the Sheriff Falkrout one there, that will be on the site. Make sure you save your own. And I have some of my save files one here. I have my own for my own personal playthrough, for casual playthrough. If you want to import the Sheriff Falk files, it's easiest if you put in the same directory that that you are using to save all of your autosave states. Otherwise, you can try importing it, but it's easier just to put it in, and then the program will pick it up because it will see the file structure itself. Yep, and that's essentially how it works. This game, this save organizer is essentially taking the game's states that it already does by itself. It's not taking anything outside of the game, and it's just pulling it, renaming it, and placing it somewhere to organize it. What you see here, these file symbols are actually files. And then they're actually folders, and these are files on the hard drive. So it's essentially just looking at the file structure and putting it in a nice organized way to make it easy for you to load in and save additional save states and all that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. I'll continually be updating this We'll get a full release version out here eventually, hopefully by the end of 2023. And then we'll update the video and have hopefully more games. I'm hoping to have all of the Final Fantasies that are on PC, since they all pretty much have the same save kind of esque idea. So it should hopefully be, cross my fingers, knock on wood, easy to add those. So we'll have all Final Fantasies and possibly more games that have auto save states and whatnot. Feel free to reach out to me to ask, like Chrono Trigger. Someone asked me to pop Chrono Trigger on there, so we can easily do that. From there, that's about it. Other than that, just close it when you want to, open up when you want to. Just make sure Java is installed if you put it on your computer. You can also take these files and give it to someone else. So if you have save states, you can pop it over to someone else. And if you use Save Organizer, it's pretty easy to set it up to allow others to use your saves and practice, so that you can become a better speedrunner or casual playthroughs. You want to keep playing cards over and over again. There you go. Yep. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.